Hello and thank you for clicking this week's video. My name is William, this is Week to Week. We run the attachment company and this is the weekly series that takes you behind the scenes of everything that goes on in our business. Let's go. So if you're new here, I run this business along with my wife Laura and my brother Andrew. Andrew runs our American business in Denver, Colorado, and Laura and I run our business here in Curluke, Central Scotland. Now, before we get on with this week's video, I would just like to remind you again of our open day. That is the first weekend in December, the Friday and the Saturday, the 6th and the 7th. You are more than welcome. You do not have to be interested in attachments or what we do. You're welcome to come see machinery, see stuff working, see us, whatever. You're more than welcome. There's the details. So with that out of the way, it's Monday lunchtime. We're in the warehouse. We're starting off the week with 2 deliveries in and 2 going out. The 2 in I will show you later. The 2 out was a double pin hitch bracket for a customer's Takeuchi TB216. And the other one was a 100mm S4 tungsten auger. Other than that, we do have a stack of work planned for this week. We've got breakdowns, we've got customer repairs, we've got new attachments going out, we've got old ones coming in. So stay tuned and I'll fill you in on everything as we go. But next up, we need to nip over to the welders. We've got a part to pick up in order to start a customer repair, and we've a couple of bits to drop off for a customer orders later on in the week. So let's get that done and then I'll catch you back here and I'll show you what we're doing next. Next job of the day, if you watched last week's video, you will have seen the 14-ton Volvo getting delivered into the yard. Well, that is in to fix a NOX Tiltrotator issue. It's one that we were out on site at 2 weeks ago, if you've seen that video, but yeah, let's go and get a look at it, see what we can do, and I'll show you the problem. This is a machine in question, Volvo EC140E with Kinshofer NOX Tiltrotator. Now this is the machine we went to site a good few weeks ago because we had a hydraulic leak on the gripper module for this. We then repaired it, straightened the guard back out, made a new pin for it. That's in the workshop. We went back last week or the week before last to fit it, to discover that the NOX had actually stopped working because of this. You can see now what happened when I got there, all those wires, those wiring and hoses was in through the lifting hook, and then with it being in the lifting hook, I assume somebody on site had then went to lift something with the machine and check the wiring. So that would explain why it's not working. I'll jump in the cab now and I'll show you the errors, but it's just a stack of every sort of random error you could imagine with the NOX system. So to the point that the bucket doesn't come off and literally nothing works. Tilt and rotate. The tilt and rotate thing actually does work, but the bucket doesn't come off. In fact, no, it doesn't. Tilt and rotate does, nothing works. The bucket is. It's stuck where it is, doesn't come off. Anyway, so cut this wire back, remove it out the NOX unit and replace it. We've got a new harness there. We're just going to replace the harness and hopefully that's all that's wrong with it. Oh, and then we can get the gripper refitted. I'm going to try and do this outside because, as I said, this machine came straight from site. They have dug the tracks out, but I'm going to try and not track it around the yard and drop muck everywhere. So yeah, let's get started and I'll update you on the process in a bit. Right, here's where we're up to. I went to move the machine just to kind of show you the issues with it, show you the errors on the screen. Then I worked out the loader driver did not leave a key for the machine, so the door is locked. Now, I should have asked that On Friday I assumed he left a key or he left it open, but it turns out that has not been the case. Now if you are wondering why I didn't check for there's a key, yeah, it's my own fault. I do come from a plant hire background, and the tendency is normally always that keys are left in machines, but whether the truck driver used his own key, I don't know what's happened. So in the meantime, I've cut the damaged bit out of the wiring, and then I've rejoined the 4-core cable. Now whether this will work, I don't know. I'm not going to bother soldering the sleeve on it just yet, but while I was waiting on the customer phoning me back to make a plan on the key, I figured we'd try it for the sake of 20 minutes to do that, to try it, and if it works then we can have a conversation with the customer to see if they want to leave it or they want to swap out the wire loom, because the wire loom is about £1,600, so it will save a lot of work, but it is down to them at the end of the day. But whether this works or not will be, I don't know yet. If this works then we'll have a decision. If this doesn't work, the wire loom is coming out anyway. And we also have the gripper to refit, but we can't do that because of the way the digger's sat as well, and it is easier if we can get the bucket off first to do that. So I am away to see if I can get a key locally, get a shot of a key and get this fired up, and then I'll be back with the update in a minute. Right, while we're waiting on a key turning up for the Volvo, and we're doing NOX Tiltrotator work anyway, let me lift this up onto the pallet and I'll explain why this is back here and what we're doing with it. Now that's back in its upright position, I can explain what we're doing. So if you are a regular viewer, this may look familiar. This is a Kinshofer NOX TR11. This is the one, or one of the ones in the big order from a couple of weeks ago. I'll put some footage in here of them all lined up in the warehouse ready for collection. Short story long, long story short, these pins are the wrong size for the excavator. They were measured, they were double checked, and it was confirmed as needing to be 45, but so that's what we supplied, and when it's got there it's turned out what the machine it's going on is actually on 50mm pins. So this upper bracket needs to come off. We'll get them machined out and we've got some replacement 50mm pins. One of these things that happens, customer has accepted that it was their mismeasure on that one, so we're going to get it off, get it fixed, get some new pins in it, get it back down to them. So let's get a start. Seeing as I've acquired a key locally, we're back looking at the NOX with the wiring issue. Got the Volvo fired up, checking the screen. We still have a stack of errors, and I know you can't see that, but I'm working the rollers and clearly nothing is happening. So either it didn't like me joining the wires is the first option there, or there's a bigger problem than that, it's a second option, or it is just needing the full harness. So I'm going to go and kill the machine, isolate it, give it a minute, stick it back on and see if it makes a difference, but I have a feeling you might have to go and fit the harness regardless. Again, I know you can't see in here, but absolutely nothing. And the screen still chock full of errors, so looks like we're fitting the new harness in the morning. Morning. Do you ever get those days that just feels like everything's getting on top of you? Hopefully anybody watching this that runs their own business, runs a small business, can relate, but that was me this morning. It is 5 minutes to 12 Tuesday morning. It just feels like we're making no progress. But let me get in out the wind here and I'll catch you up on what's been happening this morning. Right, here's where we're up to in as quick a time as I can manage. Good things this morning, the big Cymex CBA crusher bucket, I'll stick some footage in here, the one we were down in Kent doing a demo with, it came back this morning, so it is available again for any customer demos, although we did test the max lifting capacity of the forklift, but it's here and it's back and it's available. The NOX TR11 we were working on last night, that I was trying to get the top bracket off. Still struggling with that. Spoke to technical at Kinshofer. They advised to remove the valving. I've removed the valving and I still can't get the piston in to get the upper bracket off. That was the first one, so they're getting nowhere with that either. The one that's outside on the 14-ton Volvo, went to go to that, found out that we indeed do not have the right wiring. There's a link piece between the boom cable and the NOX module on the tilt rotator. That's the bit that's damaged, and that's the bit we don't have. Although on the upside, instead of it being £1,600 for the customer, it is about £200, so that's a bonus, but it does mean it's another day, at least it's sat here, that's not going to get fixed. The customer auger drive came in yesterday, and I haven't managed to get a look at yet either. Yeah, it all just felt like it was piling on top this morning, which does lead us on to the point of we're really at the stage of needing help in here, which I did post on my LinkedIn yesterday. No inquiries yet, nothing, no any good leads on anybody. But so if anybody's watching this and we're still advertising, then feel free to reach out to me. We're just to that point. I feel like we're letting customers down now. We're not getting. I preach and preach and preach about customer service, and we're not delivering that now because I physically don't have the capacity to do all of it in a timely manner. So we need to get some things off my plate, and that being the service part of it, the NOX service and repairs, and the pick and pack and shipping warehouse work. We do have a couple of things. By the time you're watching this, you might actually know about it already, but we do have a couple, or one big exciting thing in the pipeline that is just going to further exacerbate this problem. So it's something we need to tackle kind of right away. But yeah, on a more positive, and in the desire of actually getting something achieved today, I need to go to Glenrothes, drop off a hydraulic motor for a customer's Flail. And when we're up there, we do have a drop off for an auger package. So I've just packed it. It's an X2500 with a 300mm auger and a double pin cradle for a JCB 19C. That's the back of the pickup. Going to go and grab Laura. We're going to go up there, get that delivered, get the motor delivered for the Flail, and when we're at that, we need to also work on the plans for the office and the toilet for in here. So I'll fill you in on all of that. I've got about an hour's drive, so deep breaths, we'll get through it, and yeah, I'll show you what happens in the meantime. Okay, time is 4 PM Wednesday afternoon. Sorry for the lack of updates, let me catch you up what's been going on. So delivered the auger package yesterday, that was fine, nothing really to report there. Also dropped off and installed the motor for the Flail. I'll put a little video here of it working. Now this is a TC3 130 on a Takeuchi TB290. Customers had it for a couple of months now, but it was reported when he was tracking and trying to travel with the machine while flailing, it was losing drum speed. It's taken out the 26cc motor that was in it, put in a 22cc. I'll let the audio play on this, and you can hear it keeping speed as I start to travel along with the excavator. So fingers crossed, that's really helped that one out. It's good to know that for the future. That was pretty much it for yesterday, other than when we were there we finalised a plan for the offices in here. I'll share that with you in due course. This morning I have packed up an order. Well, first of all, we unpacked the Slane Track delivery. I'll show you around that later, but it's nothing you haven't seen in previous videos. We washed the PC26 for good reason, which I'll show you in a minute as well. And I also built up an order of a TC1-60 Flail for a customer who is picking it up this afternoon. So all in all, busy day. Still waiting on him turning up to pick up the Flail. It should be in the next hour or so, and then Laura's coming back down because hopefully, fingers crossed, I have something to share with you. So yeah, give me an hour or so and we'll be back. Oh, and the parts we were waiting for the NOX Tiltrotator that's outside on the 14-ton Volvo did not turn up today. FedEx on a next day service are apparently now delivering them tomorrow. So that's delayed another day, which is frustrating. Me crack on for a couple of hours here, get some things ready, and then I'll catch you up with what's going on. Alright, we've kind of messed up the timings on this, so if you follow most of the things we post here on YouTube, you have probably already seen the announcement for this. If you have not, then I have a massive secret that we have been keeping from you. Now you might have noticed some new yellow paint in the background of our weekly videos in the last few weeks, and of course we picked up the PC26 for the fencing show last weekend. However, there was a good reason for that. Right here is a new addition to the attachment company. Now, since we started this business in 2014, we've only ever sold tools like this, and like the Flail attachments to go on your machinery that you've had to buy elsewhere. However, that now is about to change. We have partnered with Marubeni and Komatsu to offer the full range of Komatsu utility line machinery in the Lothian and Borders area. I will put a little map here to show you our area, and the postcodes are some ML postcodes, including the one here where we're at, our yard in Carluke, and then it is EH and TD, which is Edinburgh, Lothian and the Borders. As I said, you've probably already seen the standalone video. If you haven't, I'll link it up here somewhere for the announcement video. That has some more details in it. But to keep it short, we'll be offering track machines from 1 tonne to 8 tonne, rubber duck wheeled excavators up to 14 tonne, and the full range of Komatsu backhoes and skid steers, which will now give us the opportunity to provide a full package solution. Excavator, attachments, buckets, quick hitch, tilt rotator, the full solution. So that, I know I've been keeping this secret for a long while actually, but it's gained some traction and actually got confirmed in the last few weeks, and then we've had the machines turn up. And in fact, I can cut some footage in here probably of the PC80 and the PC55 turning up a couple of weeks ago, and I've been trying to hide them outside of the videos. So that's the latest big announcement that's going on here. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm looking forward to getting these out, getting them to customers, getting some feedback on them. Yeah, that's pretty much us. Now you see the big reason we're having the open day in December. So we will have a range of Komatsu machines on display. All things being well, we'll have a NOX Tiltrotator on a PC55 for you to come, see, try, test out the whole lot. So yeah, that is the big announcement on to everything else that's been happening. So it is Thursday afternoon, 4 PM to be precise. What has been going on today? Quite a bit of everything actually. Prepped an 8000 max package that was going to a customer up north just for a wee short hire. Didn't actually manage. I've put a picture in here actually. You see it's an 8000 max and a 900 auger. They picked that up. Also got a 1.5 metre grading beam ready for a customer. You'll see some footage here as I'm talking. And I'll put a picture in here of it, the customer picking it up. That's a 1.5 metre beam with the roller. And that's going on his JCB 19C. Now we also got a delivery. I'll play the footage here as I am speaking as well. And it is of these. So you've seen a few weeks back we shipped a couple of these Intermercato grabs to the US. Well, this is a big stock order that has arrived from Sweden this afternoon. I'll show you in more detail around each model, but it's 15s, 20s and 25s. So that's pretty much the update. I think we are NOX Tiltrotators. Let me start to walk around the back here. Would they come up? So the one we were working on the customer's 14 tonne Komatsu, we went to fit the wiring. I think I showed you that. Then we worked out there was a link piece that we were actually missing, which was the actual piece that was damaged. So I thought that would be great because that was £200 I think, as opposed to £2,000 for the full harness. But that arrived this morning, and you can see there, that's the old harness that was damaged that I tried to cut and join. Didn't fix the issue. Here is the new piece of wiring. I haven't routed it obviously, just till I tested it. As you can probably guess by the way I'm speaking, that did not fix the issue either. So we're no further on with that. We have now ordered a full NOX Prop Plus install kit, which is the screen, the cab module, the whole lot. Hopefully we don't need all of it. Hopefully for the customer's sake we don't need all of it. But we're really at the point now we're going to have to just go through it piece by piece and see when the wiring's been checked. It must have shorted something out. It's obviously damaged something more than just the wiring itself. So I'll keep you updated with that. But anyway, the time is just after 4 PM. I am away to go and grab a coffee and something to drink. Then we'll get back, and we can't do that. The one inside, I still can't get the upper bracket off. We'll get back, we'll do some customer emails, and then I'll catch up with you and let you know the update. Friday morning, and the big big thing in the schedule for today is try and make some progress on the NOX Tiltrotators. I see, I'll spin you around here, I was leaving that auger out for a customer, but we have a Kinshofer delivery, which should be some more parts for the NOX and the Volvo 140. So let's get this box in, cracked open, see what's in it, make a plan. It's a good job I film this stuff or you would never believe it. So what we've been delivered here, forget about that because that's a mounting bracket and a one-way valve, we don't need that. That's the cable we've already tried on, the one that goes from the NOX to the end of the boom cable. That's the one that had the break in it initially, so we don't need that because we've already got that and it's on the machine. This is the NOX module that we get sent first when we actually needed this cable, so we haven't fitted this, but it is the one that we went to go and fit till we worked out it was this cable we needed. Now we've got the screen, which to be fair is part of the install kit. That is it. We don't have the boom cable and we don't have the module for in the cab. Whole point of getting a full fitting kit, that should be about £4,500, was that we had every electrical component in stock and we could just work our way through till we worked out what was actually wrong. Have they sent us it? No, they've sent us half of it. So we're away to find out. I'm waiting to hear back what's going on there. I'm going to, for the sake of taking 5 minutes to plug the screen in, I doubt it's the screen or solely the screen, and I don't think it's the module on the NOX either. I'll show you why. I don't think that in a minute, just for the purposes of explanation, but let me go plug this screen in and see what it does. There's the installed screen unplugged. Just going to plug this new one in, see what it does. Do we still have errors? Yes we do. Cabin input module, it's got to be that. It's got to be the one bit we don't have. That's incredible. That is it. The second box was not next to the first one in the warehouse and wasn't picked. We're sending it out for AM delivery Monday. Unbelievable. We've basically changed, or we've tested out a new screen. We know we've replaced the faulty cable that got damaged, the damaged cable. Let me show you why I don't think it is this part. This part being the NOX module, which sits there. Let me show you why I don't think that's the case. We'll use the new screen for this. You can see the error codes that we've got there. So if we come down to the bottom of the error codes, the last one being, if it'll focus, cabin input module disconnected. So if we come down here and we forget about that one because that's a damaged cable, unplug the NOX module, which is essentially unplugging this full NOX from the control system. You can see that brings us up some more errors. I don't know if this will focus to let you see it. Basically saying NOX output module disconnected, which would lead me to believe the NOX ECU that's in the cab can see the NOX module that is actually on the tiltrotator. I think this is the theory I'm working with, meaning our cabling and our wiring is all fine, and this is fine because you can see how many plugs is on this, and this is somewhere about £1,600, so I'd rather not replace that at the moment if we need to. It's clearly not the monitor, clearly not the screen, because that's not making a difference, so it has to be the only other electrical part in my opinion. So there's a lesson for us. We'll just get whatever we get in that we don't use, we'll just keep it in stock, and then we'll replace the bit we do use to fix this, because this waiting in parts is no good for me or the customer. That's now a week this machine's been in, and we're a little bit further forward. We think we maybe know the problem, but we don't have it fixed, and that is unacceptable. So that's the update on NOX Tiltrotator number 1. I'm going to take this new screen back out, put it back in the box for safekeeping, and then I'll update you on the plan for NOX Tiltrotator number 2. Right, we've got the NOX, the TR11 loaded in the pickup. We're going to take the pins and we're going to take the full thing over to the engineers, let them take the top bracket off it and machine out the bracket to take the 50mm pins. This is the one, I think I explained it in this week's video, I can't remember, but it's the one with the wrong size pins in the top of it. It's got 45s in it, should be 50s. So we've got the pins, we've got it loaded in the back. Let's go drop it off. There we are, let's go. NOX dropped off at the engineers. We might actually have got lucky, either that or I should have taken it there days ago, but they think we might be able to machine out the pins with the NOX actually whole without taking the top bracket off, which would be a result. So follow next week, look for next week's video, I'll tell you the update on that. We got back to a customer repair that got dropped off. Hydraulic breaker from a JCB 3CX, I think. Hopefully it's just a regas job, but I will fill you in on that next week. We need to test that auger drive as well, that's a job for next week also. But yeah, it's pretty much us for Friday. Got held up a bit there with some customer phone calls and inquiries and visitors, so it is 6 PM. I have a visitor coming over tomorrow that I need to go and pick up from the train this evening, so that's pretty much going to be us for Friday. Tomorrow though, we're going to go to site and see something kind of cool working, hopefully something we don't see in this country very often, an attachment on a skid steer. So that's the plan for tomorrow, but that's us for Friday. I'll catch you in the morning. Right, Saturday morning, 7:30. Plan for the day is we're going over to a customer site to see one of their attachments working on their skid steer. It's not something you would see terribly often in this country, so let me take you with you. Let me take you with me and I'll show you what we're going to look at. There you have it, a Harley Rake working away on a Manitou track loader. So just to give you a little bit of insight, the customer was looking to see if it would work to help loosen up the material, sort of packed material on access roads. So as you can see, we ran it on some hard packed tarpaulins and it seemed to do just the job. So next step is to get a couple of options priced up for the customer and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get an order. And with that, we've made it to the end of another week's episode. Thank you very much for clicking on. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of this week's episode. Let us know in the comments what you thought of it, what you think of the big news. You probably have seen it by now anyway. But yeah, when you're down there, hit like, hit subscribe, let us know what you thought, let us know what you'd like to see more of, less of, whatever. Any questions in the up and coming episodes, let us know in the comments. We'll see you next week.